Woo! More content. Woo!
Content.
Um, Welcome back to the Catching Up podcast. We are definitely with it. We're definitely awake, and it's definitely not very late in the night, and we're hanging on. I mean, to be fair, we're a lot more sane than we were last time we recorded because
Oh my
I
God,
mean
that's
that was
disastrous.
stressful.
That was a fun episode we recorded for all the wrong reasons.
Easons,
Reasons. Yeah,
yeah.
there we go. It's kicking in already.
Um,
Off to a great start.
but welcome to this episode, which is could be the first, could be the second. Who knows? Whatever order you're listening to, the episodes that are in your stream, in your RSS feed, whatever, however you listen to your podcast. Yeah, I completely blanked on what the acronym was there. I mean, like after a day of work, I don't know about you, but like literally work is a
Yeah.
full of acronyms. Like and then trying to remember what other
Oh
acronyms
man.
are. Like yeah,
Don't even,
terrible.
don't even get me started. Don't even get me started. That's a podcast episode in itself.
Hey. I think I managed to put a meeting in like at the end of last year for work where it was 5 acronyms in a row, but it made perfect sense if you knew what the acronyms meant.
That's so fucking impressive.
And I was like,
Fair
"Oh,
play.
actually, I'm gonna call it this because it makes sense."
Because I can.
Yeah, um, yeah. Just I just like to show off every so often, you know. Like that's just me. But anyway, what is this episode actually about? This is the Women's League podcast. We're going to be covering all things Women's League from St George's Park, Women's League 2 through till Super League, and everything that's going on there from last league week and what's happening this weekend when we're recording on the 24th. Yeah, I know. I don't have my teeth in. I can't speak at the moment. So, shall we dive right into it? Is there anything else you want to talk about? Anything you want to preview?
I think we should preview Women's League too.
All right, let's go into Women's League 2 then. Oh,
Do
would
it
you
over
look at
there.
that? It's there. It's fantastic. Yeah, our audio listeners are just like, what are these guys on about? Anyway, that's why you should watch us on
Anybody says
YouTube.
that.
Give us a subscribe and like, you know, definitely do that. Hey. Got never let them know your next move. Got to keep them guessing when you're gonna throw that one in. Anyway, Women's League 2. Now, just a reminder of the format for Women's League 1 and 2 because it is a bit different to the other leagues that we've just been talking about with Men's League and also Women's Super League. So, due to the number of teams in each league, each team will play every other team 3 times. So there are again 6 league meets like everyone else, but they play each other more frequently, which means that round 3 was the start of the second round of matches between each other. So after the first 2 league meets, we got an idea of where teams pit against each other. But due to scheduling, it was kind of a weird one because there was only 1 week apart. It was like one open where you play everyone in your league, and now they've actually had time to train and get ready for the next matches. So yeah, that's all I have to say about that, and the situation that Women's League 2 and 1 find themselves in. NK did point out to us after we sent the podcast out live that they did actually have a team sheet and therefore a team going to St George's Park, which we were very relieved for, and I think a lot of other teams were glad that they were there. Some tough results for them, but definitely better than
At least they're able to try.
better than bees turning up and only having 1 match to play, or even silverbacks.
Yeah,
Having that issue.
that's the one concern about having a league that small is if somebody isn't able to field. So it was very nice to see, and it was best for everybody that they're able to turn up and give a game, and at least they gave Coventry Seconds a bit of a game.
Yep.
And made it have that kind of big finish off the day would have been hopefully a good day out for them at the very least.
Yeah, definitely. I think every time I see MK, it kind of surprises me how the scores turn out because they've got good players on their team. They've definitely got potential ability, good arms, like some decent dodgeball instinct. so it's just a case of like getting that practicing, getting better at like throwing and dodging straight after, playing as a unit, having 6 players on court at the beginning, just like things that would really solidify them as like a legit team. Because also not having any subs as well really ruins a day when you're playing 3 matches. So, yeah. So just wanted to give a bit of a shout out to MK for turning up, playing some tough games, but again, not to lose hope because they do actually have some solid players there, and I hope that they keep wanting to play, and you guys can train as a team and show League Two what you're about once you've got that stability. But good to see you guys
100%.
there.
Yeah, 100%.
Anyway, on to the games that were more competitive and between the teams that were really fighting for something. Silverbacks won. I don't think we really need to talk about because they are a massive team, doing really well and loads of experience. Surprised how close the game was against Saints though.
Well, we've always said that Saints have some good players on the roster,
and they play really well.
Don't come for me, Nick. Okay. No, they are like they have some experienced players, and one of the things we've kind of discussed previously is that if you play smart on court, you can beat pretty much anybody. On the other side, if you're smart, if you play smart enough, like sometimes it's like it leads to the most boring dodgeball being played by your team, but it can get you results. At the end of the day, if you are never hit or caught out, you at the very least draw the game. Like that's just facts.
Yeah,
So
first rule
I
of
haven't actually been
dodgeball
able
is
to
the dodging. Like,
yeah, but like it's true though.
It's
right?
so many people forget this because it's like I guess there's 2 ways to look at it, right? His dodgeball is a game of you. It's how many players you end up on court, right? If you get more of the other team out, then you win. Also, if less of you go out, you could win. Like, so fundamentally, you start with 6 on court. You're not going to get any higher than 6. If you just dodge, right, there is a chance you're only ever going to draw.
Especially in lower leagues.
Yeah.
Especially in lower leagues, like you don't see as many big arm teams the lower you go down. So like if you make your fundamentals like surviving and playing really disciplined dodgeball, like you can give the top teams in your league a hell of a game.
Yeah, definitely. Now Saints are a solid team. They've got some really good players on it, and I think there are some in terms of sort of player types that they've got. I think MK and Saints are kind of similar in some of the players that they've got in terms of player types. Just Saints are just so much more drilled and have that more experience and have the ability to rotate through subs and stuff that Saints have managed to get some really good results. Like a 13-7 loss to Silverbacks is fantastic considering how big the wins have been for Silverbacks against pretty much any other team in the league.
Given that Silverback's score difference is 110, with the next closest being 52.
Yeah.
A close result against them should not be sniffed at.
Yeah. And 100%. I think if I remember in that game, because I think I did watch like a good portion of it, it was really close at half time as well. Like I think it might have been 6-4 or something like that at half time. And it was just second half, like Silverbacks woke up and kind of kicked in. But like really good performance for Saints. If I was to criticize and say like one thing is I felt like because they're quite well drilled, sometimes they were running into running counters a little too early. So like, especially a team like Silverbacks ones,
getting caught flat-footed as
exactly. Like you've got your shins exposed where there are some phenomenal international players in that Silverbacks team, which can see a running counter coming a mile away, and if they just turn their body on a release slightly, they can angle that ball away from the third player into the one of the players doing a running counter and just nip you on the back of the heel or something like that. And it's not that the running counter wasn't on. It definitely was on. It's just like a little too jumpy to get on it because like Saints have got some rapid players like on the wings.
Yeah, 100%.
just let the ball go and then get on the running counter and see it's on and cover each other. Because but yeah, definitely like some really good time. Like that Saints team would do fine in League One. Like
Oh yeah, absolutely,
100%. Like they
100%.
had such a solid team. But yeah, really good to see because obviously this is their first league season. Seeing them being this competitive is great, and not just competitive, but like a good team, like a real good team.
Yeah, 100%. Couldn't agree more.
Do you want to talk about honeys?
Oh, it's so nice to see them getting like big results, like after such a difficult period last season. Like it is just really nice to see them doing well. Especially as we lost a few of the women early on in the season. It's nice to see them still kind of group as a team and go into games going, fuck yeah, I can like we can win this. They've got a real a real strong togetherness on court and off court, and it's really nice to see it kind of paying off a lot more than it did last season. Um, but yeah, there's not a lot like to say. It's just they're playing. There's no like like player that's like carrying them through or anything like that. It is just very much a very solid team game. For the majority of it.
I mean, is
Um,
Meg back in the honeys?
I don't actually know, to
Like
be honest. I haven't.
as an absolute anchor for that team, like she's awesome. Like,
Oh,
so
shape, but
great for the team.
I even see like you seen it in even in so Meg played for minor B's at the previous Northern League meet, and I was in I was box coaching them, and the control she had of all of this. Bear in mind, most of the team hadn't even seen each other before before that
Hmm.
day.
Hmm.
Like to see the control she has of the team on court, it's not necessarily that she has to do anything outstanding, but she knows how to control a game really, really well. And she was a middle player managing to do that. And not a lot of people are able to have that like that level of leadership on court for the people around them. So I would completely agree that she can fully be an anchor for a squad. But like even whenever she was playing with the Queens, like the Honeybees were still playing very well and very unified. Um, with a really nice balance of um experience and younger players coming through. Like they've really they found a level that they're comfortable playing at, and they're
Yeah.
really starting to find their feet. And we kind of said this last year where they'd had really close results against a lot of the opposition in League One. That there's definitely the potential for them to take that next step. It's nice to see them taking that next step in a lot of their games.
Yeah, I think that's the bit that sticks out to me for honeybees is that I feel like every time I've seen them, they've had at least two people change every time, um, and still had that consistency in performance, and just the morale is there. Like it's great. It's great to see. Um,
Yeah, absolutely.
so definitely, big shout out to Honeys there, doing great stuff. I do want to say a bit about White Tigers too. I didn't get to see any of their games, other than the fact that I'm still annoyed that they're Grey Tigers now. Like, come on. Um, but you know, you win some, you lose some. A bit of a weird day for them because they'll be absolutely thrilled that they beat Saints because that is a hell of a result. But losing to Silverbacks too, I think they'll be a little bit frustrated with because they've definitely got the ability to win that game, and I don't know what didn't go well enough for them. Someone's going to tell me now that I was refing that game, and I can't remember, but I don't know. Like I feel like still Silverbacks too are a team that they've got some really cool players in that are learning the game of dodgeball and doing a really good job of it. And then they've got some people that are definitely experienced, like Emma from Lincoln and stuff that have like really sort of added that bedrock in and let those players go and go have the fun and go learn some things on the court, while still having some of the fundamentals there in the team. Um,
Being able to have experienced players in your second plus teams is
yeah,
massive in any league.
yeah,
And then, like just having somebody that knows how to, even if it's not at a high level, at any level, being able to understand the game well enough to help control it for everybody else, and to kind of during it, like as things are going on, passing that knowledge along, indirectly, it makes such a difference. And I could see that being a big reason why they're able to, have such good games this meet.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And a 13-9 result in a match to catch for White Tigers over Saints, like um, nothing but great result for White Tigers, really. Like,
Yeah.
I think it was a pretty close game throughout. Pretty impressive win for White Tigers. I think they'll be very happy with that. It feels like it's a rough day for Saints, but some highs and lows there. To lose 13-7 to Silverbacks, fantastic. To lose to White Tigers, not so great. But
It's
yeah,
also not easy playing back to, like, would that have been back to back?
no, there would have been one game separate because they
Oh, is that swapping around
yeah,
between
they
League
intertwine
One?
with League
All
One.
right, okay, yeah, fair enough. Fair enough.
I mean, they may have refed, so they may have played ref played, which would have been rough.
Still difficult to do.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. So, yeah, big result for White Tigers. I think if we go over to the league table, you'll see that like it's still stupidly close. Like, okay, yeah, Silverbacks undefeated at the top, fine, whatever. But Honeybees have lost 2 games. They've yet to play Silverbacks the second time, and then 2 wins in it between Silverbacks 2, Saints, and then White Tigers up to Bees. Really, like, yeah, every match counts, and even though Saints lost that one against White Tigers, if they'd won it the other way around, then they would only be a win ahead. All they've done is swap places temporarily if results go elsewhere later down the line. So again, for our audio listeners, Coventry Silverbacks one's in first place with 4 wins, 7 wins. Honeybees are in second with 5 wins, 2 losses on 10 points. White Tigers 2 on 4 wins, 2 losses, 8 points. Saints and Silverbacks 2 both on 3 wins and 6 points. However, Silverbacks have played an extra game, so they have 5 losses. And then MK Cyclones have lost with 8 losses. So yeah, that's second through fifth, those 4 teams. Yeah, very close, very close, which is good to see.
100%. I think you pointed out that a big game will be everybody's kind of like second run through Silverbacks 1, which I think Honeys are going to be going on to next. Like, that'll be a big sign of where they're going to kind of settle in. If they can show that they can like go head to head for a team of that caliber, then they'll definitely be competing for a promotion spot. Mm-hmm. But you're essentially just trying to match your opposition at this point, right? Like, it is so tight in that 14 gap going for the promotion spot. And with how like the league works in that, I think Covs 2 have played an extra game now.
Yeah, Covs 2 and
right?
MK have played 8, and then everyone else has played 7.
I actually should be able to just count the games. The league table is literally sat in front of me.
Yeah,
right. But yeah, that match in hand is going to be very important to everybody, and it'll be definitely interesting to see how it pans out for everybody.
Yeah, definitely. But it's also really good to see like only Honeybees are a team that have existed before in terms of this league structure. So good to see that Honeybees are able to still be competitive, because I know they had a really tough time of the season before. So great for them, but also great to see that the new teams that have come in, like, this is what you want with a new expansion league, is you want everyone to be competitive when they come in. I know that League One is going to be a rough league table for everyone, but also like if you're a new team coming in and you end up playing in League One, like that's going to be rough, because some of those teams are really quite experienced, not quite Super League capable yet, but very experienced and can pick apart those inexperienced teams. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how things fall out, and then who knows what's going to happen next year. We don't know if there will still be a League 2 next year. Fingers crossed there is, but we don't know if there's going to be a promotion, demotion, etc. So we'll have to see. If you've got any women's team lying around, go for League next year. All right, should we go on to Women's League One?
Do you want to do
Oh yeah, we
the
got match to catch.
fixtures and match to catch?
Yeah, that thing. Yeah, I forgot we had to do that.
Yeah,
Right, match to catch. Coventry Silverbacks. This should be twos against London Saints.
you haven't worked out how to show the twos yet, have you?
No. I just say it. Just say it. It's fine. You know, everyone knows what we're talking about. Yeah, Cov Silverbacks too. Shall we do the public vote again?
Let's do it. Hopefully you put twos down on the public vote. I
Uh,
didn't check. I trusted you. I put all my faith in you, sir.
what'd you do that for? That's your own fault.
What you do that for? What you do that for? Don't know why
Yeah,
Dilly Allen came to my head there, but yeah, that
yeah.
happened.
Did put twos. Okay,
My
this time
guy.
118 votes.
Thought I might say 100% to one of them. I was like, maybe we change.
One team with a very nice 69%.
69.
We're so mature on this podcast.
So mature.
Yeah, let's reveal who's behind that door. What's that from? I don't know why that's in my head.
What?
I have no idea what that's from.
Who's behind is this anyway?
Yep, 69% to London Saints. The London Army representing there. Go on, you go. I went last time after we did the public vote.
Ah, shit. Let's go with the Saints. I back the public. Public know more than me.
I mean, fair, valid.
Yeah, tell me I'm wrong.
It really depends on how things have gone. Like, I think there's a lot of learning that Saints can do from last league meet, because they didn't do so well, but Silverbacks really did.
You say they didn't do so well, but like they did give Cov one, who's top of the league. A
Yeah, a good game. But like that game against White Tigers, I think, like, I would have said that they should have won that one personally. Like, I think they could have been the better team there. So just a bit. I'm not saying disappointed, but it is a bit like disheartening that they didn't win it. But I guess they're a new team again, experience and things. White Tigers have a lot of players that played in League One last year that dropped down, so they are a bit more experienced. So you know, maybe that's what's to play there is just a bit of experience. Whereas Cov 2,
Very
I think
possible.
it depends what team shows up, like what's on the who's on the team sheet. So to keep everyone guessing, I'm gonna go Saints. I just think that they're a well disciplined team. Their coaches are very experienced, and you know they pay a lot of attention to what's going on court, review footage when they can and stuff like that. So I definitely think they've got all the support there to build off of, like a good meet, and like learn.
I must say this must be the first time that we've given coaching as the reason for a team winning.
I mean, yeah, maybe.
It helps. Don't get me wrong.
Like, well,
Don't get me
especially
wrong,
at this
that
age, like
helps.
I know how much help Saints have had from players that are in Storm. You know, Val and Ali are doing a great job of helping out there, and both of them playing really well for London Storm as well. So,
100%.
you know, both of them also international players. They're also learning that experience, getting that experience internationally, and seeing what other people are doing, and getting that breadth of knowledge, not just from their experience in London, but elsewhere as well, which is really going to help Saints in terms of like, how do you bring new players into the sport? How do you train new players to be better and be competitive? Because that team does want to be competitive. They're, you know,
Oh yeah, 100%. And they'll definitely get there in time.
yeah, definitely.
Like they're still, as you said, like they're brand new to the league. They're still kind of finding their way together as a unit. Like it'll come in time.
Yeah, definitely. So I think I favour Saints in this scenario for the first one.
I think that's fair.
All right, on to the next league. Women's League One.
Do, 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 do.
Yeah, I keep forgetting because now we're split half and half, like the day half and half. Women's League One and Women's League Two happens in the same half.
Unison.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but because of the half and half, it means that of the groups, there is an overlap for one match, where one match will be one league and then the other match on the other court. Because the group court
Oh,
3 and 4,
yeah.
So it
I get
always
what you mean. I
means
get
that
what you mean.
one round for League One is going to have a full set of fixtures, like 8 fixtures,
Yeah.
and then it's going to be one short for just weird looking. I was like, wait, shouldn't there be less matches? Like, oh wait, no, that's not how it works. Interesting league meet. A lot of heavy wins, but some surprising wins as well. Like that Hartlepool Sheriffs result came out of nowhere for me, because Sheriffs have played so well in the last few league meets. 14-6 to Hartlepool for our audio listeners. Hartlepool have been playing Sheriffs have been playing so well, and Hartlepool just haven't, they've been playing well like they did last year, but just not winning the sets as consistently. It was really interesting that Hartlepool were able to get a very convincing win over Sheriffs, which surprised me.
Yeah, history would have said that would have been a much tighter game than it was.
Yep.
But
Yeah.
it also kind of, if you look at the Spartans 2 game as well, it's just 17-3 in Spartans' favour. Very well. Like, you probably know better than me, but it just, sometimes you just have one of those days where just nothing's clicking, or
I
don't
think
know if people
it
were
was
missing.
I think it was quite a different Sheriffs 2 team. Than normal.
that kind of makes sense with the results being what they were, because beforehand, Sheriffs had, as you said, some good momentum going into this league meet, some good results, and we're definitely there. If you would have predicted before this league meet, you would have said there would have been much tighter matches, possible victories in their favor as well. So yeah, it looks like an off day for whatever reasons.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I don't want to get too into Leeds, but I guess I will in a minute, just so we have something to talk about for this league. Because it's hard to talk about a league when there's so many one-sided results. It was really a lot of top table versus bottom table, and then Sheriffs didn't turn up with the strongest team, so some of the mid-table results were very skewed.
Yeah.
I think Nighthawks, they were playing the top 2 teams in Derby Phantoms 2 and Spartans 2. Very similar scoreline for them, 18-4 and 16-4. Nighthawks are a team that I want to see do well, but they have one very good caller, and without that caller, the consistency of the team drops off quite significantly, which is really frustrating when player for player they are good, and they don't necessarily, or they shouldn't necessarily need that caller to tell them what to do, but they do for some reason. But they are a solid team. They should be doing better, and we saw it last season. They were much better consistently, and they were able to protect their caller better. But I know I keep saying about Nighthawks, but I'm sure they'll sort it out eventually. Maybe some just training on calling and stuff like that within the team. I don't know how often they're able to train together, and get a women's court going so they can train together. But yeah, hopefully we'll see them develop. Obviously, Spartans going from strength to strength, 3 strong wins.
Very strong wins.
Yeah, Phantoms also some pretty strong wins. I mean, they had the only reasonably close match, and that was 12-8 against Leeds.
Go on, talk about
these. So, since last league meet, we've lost two players in Jess and Meg. Meg's had a knee injury, and Jess is having another child, so we haven't been able to necessarily recruit to pick that gap up. It's going to show this weekend, unfortunately. we're really struggling for players at the moment, just due to injuries, availability, all sorts of reasons going on. Which is really frustrating because after the first two league meets, we're actually in a position where we could be competitive this year, even though we knew it was going to be a bit of a down year for us. Um, so yeah, the result against Hartlepool and Spartans 2 was pretty gutting, because we know that like the team can do better. I know when it came to Spartans, I think we just lost too many sets in a row, and it kind of
Yeah.
cascaded very quickly. But that game against Derby, like it was so close all the way through, and we so should have been in it to draw. Like I think it did come down to the last set. I think it was a 10-8 score, and then Phantoms won it if I remember correctly. So it felt like energy was relatively high after that because we got trounced by Derby the first time round, and that was when we had like the stronger team unit. But like this result was like really promising, and I hope it's a reminder to the entire team that when you play as a team and you play as like a unit, you've really got an
Yeah.
opportunity to like get the sets on and be in the match all the way to the end. It requires the discipline to do that all the way through, but like the whole team played so well in that to make sure that they were in it till the end. Especially against a team that had beat them quite comfortably before. It's good to see that didn't stay stuck in the head and they were able to just play the game in front of them. And they played such a good game. The throwing was so much better. The accuracy, the two ball throws were just they were making their hits, and it was really great to see. There were times where we were like 4-2 up and then we'd throw the set away, but like so much improvement, so many great things to see. So as much as it does seem like some rough results, there are definitely like some genuine like good things to look at,
Yeah.
and not forget that there's a lot of players here that have like played maybe 1 or 2 years of uni, and they're going straight into League One, against some very experienced teams, and actually
Yeah.
kind of holding their own, which is so proud of them. But yeah,
Oh, a little Papa Oil.
yeah, love Leeds. Yeah, I feel like that's about it, really, to say. I think it gets a little bit more interesting when we go into the next round for League One. No, that's the wrong league. Again. Here we go. So, league table is Derby Phantoms 2 at the top with 15 points with a win and a draw. Lemon Spartans 2 with 5 wins, 2 draws and a loss on 12 points, so they're behind by a win and a half. Then you get into Sheriffs 2 on 6 points, with 3 wins. Hartlepool on 4th with 2 wins and a draw. Leeds on 4 points with a win and 2 draws, and Nighthawks on 2 wins. Which it just shows you how weird this league is that you've got 2 wins at the bottom of the table. Like and you're still at the bottom of the table, but you're 1 win behind 3rd place. I mean, Phantoms 2 and Spartans are definitely in control of this league now. There's no catching up to them.
100%.
I don't think I think
No.
they've got it in the bag. They are going up to Super League. But yeah, I think we'll have to see what happens with leagues next year.
Your nightmare of having seconds in the top league comes true once again.
Well, I was going to say it's about men's league actually. The top 4 teams currently are all first teams in men's league 1.
For
You've got Beagles, Leeds, Wessex, and MK. I think are in the top 4 at the moment.
no,
No, not
MK's
MK.
6th.
Oh, Ronda.
Ronda, yes.
Yeah. So you do have first teams in it, but yeah, yeah. I mean, we were talking before this episode started about how much of a good place is British women's dodgeball at the moment, because I know there's a lot of players umming and ahhing about what's going on next year, and whether they're going to play. Some players leaving internationally, some clubs struggling to get retention of players who want to play regularly but want to play regularly for fun, don't want to commit to league meets, and just the disparity of that in teams. And what we've seen in Super League as well is just like clubs just collecting all the uni talent because that's where they can train and they can get better, especially if they want to compete for England. But it does mean then that those few clubs have a glut of talent, and then all the other clubs, geographies around it, suffer. But part of the game, I guess, part of developing clubs. But we'll have to see what that means for league tables going forward. Anyway, on to round 4. Wrong league again. Oh, we completely skipped them. We completely skipped the league for next round of fixtures. Like, oh wow, I really wasn't with it.
I did say it, and then you went straight to prediction. I was like, I'll let that one slide.
Yeah, sorry. I'm sorry, League 2. We can do it after this before we get to Super League. We'll go through it and chop it together. It'll be fine. Cool. Anyway, round 4 for Women's League 1. Less fixtures for the league this time, but a few more teams getting their three matches in. I think it's Nighthawks and Sheriffs too. It's gonna be an interesting day for Leeds. Don't know what's gonna happen. We'll just have to take it match at a time. Obviously, top 2 are clashing at 7:15.
Well, I was gonna say, you'd be hoping to give Norwich a big game.
Yeah.
Like if you're able to give Derby seconds a close game that was back and forth, like you're definitely able to give Norwich and Sheriffs too a good match. So
yeah,
you definitely have some optimism going into it.
Yeah. I don't think we have as many subs as we did before, so I think it's going to be a little bit more tiring, especially when players having a rough day or whatever. If you want to sub out to just recuperate yourself after a couple of lost sets, rather than just keep getting into a rut, it's going to be a bit tough on that one. But yeah, the Nighthawks game would be good. I think all of them would be good. It depends what Sheriff's team turn up, but could have an interesting day. We'll have to see.
Yeah, definitely. And then, as you said, top 2 playing each other at 7:15. Yeah, the only reason, because I know somebody's gonna call us out for first and second playing each other and not making it the match to catch. The kind of reason behind it was that both of them are very secure in their positions, and even if Spartans 2 were to win, Derby already have that extra point in hand.
Yeah. It doesn't really add anything to the table right now.
It could be that it'll very much be like a hindsight thing later on down the line of whether that massively impacts the table.
Yep.
Which is kind of why we went for the Hartlepool Norwich game, which has a big impact on a potential relegation battle, assuming that there's going to be a third league.
Yep.
Yeah. So that will be a very good game and a very impactful game. For the time being, and it's a big chance for Norwich to make a statement about stepping up, and this is their 3-game meet. It'll be very important for them to come away with some points at the end of it for sure. Whenever you're playing the 3 main contenders for that relegation spot.
Yeah, it's where they can pick up points really, because they were playing first and second last time. Now they've actually got some matches that they can fight in.
So it's pretty it's literally every match that you could be aiming to pick out points from. Realistically, exactly. Like that. And looking at it that way, it is a high pressure league meet to be going into. There's a lot on the line for them.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they cope. And they deal with it, because you have 3 matches on a Saturday afternoon as well.
God, that's crazy. I didn't even think that in one day you're playing 60% of the league.
Yeah, it's so weird the way that it's set up.
Obviously, that's the only way that you really can do it.
Yeah, I get it.
But you said 3 times they're playing everybody?
Yeah, so they do 1 league meet where they play 2 matches, 1 league meet where they play 3, and then they repeat the same. So this is the same league meet as league round 2. And then this will also be the same
That's
league meet as
savage.
the last league meet as well. So these matches here will be
Yeah.
the same match. So Nighthawks in their last league meet will have those 3 matches as well to try that.
That's so crazy.
But it does mean that not 7-15 match of Spartans v Phantoms does become the last game of the season where they'll be fighting out for first and second.
Yeah, true.
And
Yeah,
if there is anything, if there is anything on the line at that point, that's where it'll matter.
Yeah.
And also, it'll just be nice to see.
It is extremely important for Spartans to pick up 2 points here to give themselves a much better chance compared to the Derby team, who have, they're unbeaten so far this season, 7 wins, 1 draw. Like, they're definitely the team that if you're looking to take first spot, you need to be beating them now to give them a bit of doubt that the first place is secured for them.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, interesting league meet. We'll see. I have to see what comes out of it, what teams show up. I expect to hear a lot of noise from the Phantoms as they always do. Yeah, insanely loud. Ugh. I think that was the most annoying thing when we played them.
You're getting a message after this, buddy.
Honestly, it was so annoying. Like don't get me wrong. I fully support supporting your team, but no offense, but throwing a group throw and them being valid is not something to cheer about. And they were genuinely cheering about it. And I know it's part of the tactics of getting the referee's head of, oh yeah, it was close and therefore they may call a hit or whatever. But just cut it out. It's not in the the aim of dodgeball. If you're going to cheer for your team, actually cheer for your team. Don't be a dick about it. Just saying.
Well, this is not a conversation I was expecting. I like to call it the Derby special.
Rangers do it too. But Rangers have learned. They've not been doing it because since they got an absolute bollocking at one of the meets when Rangers 2 were playing Bedford Mighty Eagles. I think it was 2 years ago, and they got told off because it was affecting other courts. Other courts couldn't hear the calls, so therefore they've toned it down. And I love that. They still show support for their team. They still cheer for their team in a really great way, and I love it. And it's great to have that atmosphere there. But they're not dicks about it. Anyway.
You are gunning for them to say. It's usually my part of the pod is giving the hot takes on shit, but I'm happy to hand that to you today. So.
Yeah, it was one of those things of in what was a very good game and a very close game, it was the one thing that left a sour note on it for me, is that it meant as a team, it was a good game. We played really well, and we have a lot to take away from it. But just because of the annoying screams every 5 seconds, it just it got at least got in my head as as a spectator. But
good thing you weren't on court.
Yeah, very good thing I'm not on court. Yeah.
Just taking notes about how to get in your head next game.
Oh yeah, but you can't get in my head because I
already live in your head rent free.
Find it funny. Yeah, you do. You're always welcome there, buddy.
Just find it funny. Wow. Imagine that for me. Wow. Right. Okay.
Anyway,
I see how it is.
Shall we go back and do fixtures for round 4 for Women's League?
Let's do it.
2. So Women's League 2, round 4. We've already covered the match to catch, which is Silverbacks 2 against Saints. Yeah, boy. But some other big bad matches elsewhere, like Honeybees. You said that one of the Honeybees games we should do, but then I realised that we did the exact same one last time. And I can't remember if it was Honeybees against White Tigers. No, I mean, yeah, I only remember because
I think that was the one I put down. Yeah,
I opened the document and then it was still there from last time.
That was the game, yeah.
I was okay. But yeah, Honeybees 2 against White Tigers 2 again. That'll be a cracking game. Be interesting to see how Honeybees do compared to Saints, and if they can get the win there. So I mean, both Honeybees games, we had our discussions about Honeybees versus Saints last time. I think we've learned our lesson about how we talk about that game, um, and make sure we give even feedback all around, even if we are a little biased to the teams that we support. Um, but
We're
yeah,
very open about the fact we're massively biased towards our own teams.
I don't know what you're talking about. I am so neutral when I'm talking about Leeds versus Derby. Clearly,
And you almost brought me to tears with you talking about Leeds there a few minutes ago, mate. It was so
exactly. Yeah.
passionate.
So passionate, and I was so passionate about Derby as well because I support all teams. Um, so Honeybees against Saints would be a fantastic game to end the day. It'd be
Oh
really,
yeah, definitely,
really. I mean,
definitely.
what's the Can you give us a little insight into what the Honeybees team's looking like? Like, is it?
If you think I can remember that, you're doing very well, sir. I
Yeah,
know, I know. I don't. Alex will be missing as she is traveling for work in Canada. Hope you're having a great time. I'm pretty sure Meg's been moved up to Queens. I might be wrong on that. I can't remember. Otherwise, it'd be very much the same squad as previously. So
fantastic.
it'll still be a good game,
Yeah,
no
yeah,
matter what the squad looks like. Like you can see the improvement in the girls this season. There's been a bigger focus on core skills for a lot of the girls recently, like proper back to basics. Let's nail this down and make sure that we're all kind of on the same page of how we're handling our games in terms of the game plan. And you can see that it's benefited a lot of the girls, especially in the honeybees. Vast improvements in all areas of their games. Um, so hopefully that'll lead to them, being able to step up and show that um, they're getting more experience, they're improving, in all areas of their game, and give, Cov, White Tigers, and Saints a hell of a match.
yeah. No, definitely. I think another game to call out is Silverbacks 2 against Silverbacks 1s because
Yeah, that's what I
the
was going to point out.
the ones definitely showed some weaknesses against Saints, and Saints exploited that really well. Um, I think it was just a bit of laziness in trackbacks at times, but or fishing for catches. I mean that Silverbacks team can catch. Like they've got some really good catches on that team. Um,
Hell yeah.
but it'll be interesting to see how that seconds team do against them because I think they can definitely potentially cause an upset. They know that team pretty well, I reckon. Know some of the players, know some of their weaknesses, and they've gelled more together as a team and can hopefully capitalise on that. But I think that'll be a really interesting game to go watch.
Yeah, 100%. Couldn't agree more.
Yeah. Right, on to match to catch for League One after that detour.
Boop, 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 boop. Head banging. Ping pong between the two leagues. Burp, burp, burp. Can you tell it's 11 p.m.?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
There you go. Hartlepool versus Nighthawks. Let's see what the public say. We have had 109 votes. And it's a 60-40 split. I think this is an interesting prediction from the public. Public
They've
going
gone Nighthawks.
they've gone Nighthawks.
Interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting because like Nighthawks are a good team. And it depends how Hartlepool play. Like, so the weird thing about Hartlepool, and they do this in both men's and women's, is they are the team with the weirdest set difference from where they are in the league. Like, I'm pretty sure they are fourth at the moment on -4 set difference, and everyone else is like, I think we're on -50 or something. And we're one. I think we're I think we're a draw behind them or something like that. Like
Yeah,
they're
you're -36 and
yeah.
Mavericks are -4.
Yeah, and then Nighthawks are on -38. Like it's wild how their set difference is. So I reckon in order to maintain their set difference, they might have to win this one by like one set or something. just to just to keep it within, because they do that so last year they were fourth on -10.
I remember you never shut up about it.
I know, but I'm still baffled by it. I know the maths be mathing, but like that's crazy. That's impressive.
No, it was pretty insane, and they're living up to their reputation already.
Yep, yeah, definitely. So
Excuse me.
in that case, I am going to go Mavs. Mavs is my prediction.
Yeah, I'll definitely be joining you on that. Purely based on previous results. To me, reading the league, as you said, like a lot of their games must be tight, or they're either battering the teams below them and losing by a lot to the teams above them, kind of mentality. And if that's the case, you'd have to say that they're on paper the better team. Clip that up whenever it bites me on the ass, but
I mean that,
yeah,
and also the
I'd
fact
be
that
gone.
Nighthawks, like we said, this last league meet was they played first and second. This next league meet is where they got to win all their points. So
Yeah, true.
could be a very good day for Nighthawks as well. Difficult one to predict, to be honest.
Yeah.
Which is why it's our match to catch. Got to go watch it to find out.
Don't ask us how the last match to catch in this league went.
Which game was it?
Sheriffs 2 versus Spartans 2. 17-3 to Spartans 2.
Yeah. We don't talk about that.
We don't talk about Bruno. No.
There's our DMC strike.
Yes, because my voice is so angelic that it'll be.
I think it is Colm.
Yeah, but that's because you're obsessed with me.
If only you didn't live rent-free in my head.
Colm will leak DMs.
Oh, God. Right.
I'm waffling to give you time to set this up for the next scene.
I know, but you're actually making me laugh, so it's distracting me. That's not helpful.
I'm trying to entertain while you're sorting it out.
Anyway, Women's Super League.
Oh my God, so many matches.
Can you tell you're tired?
After like checking out 3 or 4 games per league, I kind of forgot what the like full league setup looks like for each meet.
The shitstorm of every other league, like.
Oh Jesus!
What a.
To be fair, there's some actually tighter games than I was expecting in some of these.
Yeah, just a little bit, I mean, I want to talk about Storm versus Bees because I watched that and that was hella impressive from Bees. Like, so good to see. Like, for reference, Storm had to step off court to do a 1-minute set to go for the draw. That's the situation Storm are in. Now, I mean, admittedly, then that did then backfire on Bees because they then blew through a single at Grace, and Grace made the catch. Becky also then threw a single because they had to in the time that was left. They were down by 1, and then threw another catch at Grace. So it wasn't the best 60-second display.
Do you know how
from
sad
Bees.
it was getting like your play-by-play messages through of this game, like in the last set? Bees are going into the last set set up, and I was like, yeah, they're just slowly happiness withering away and withering away.
I mean, you guys. I should have been paid for that, like play-by-play commentary that I was giving you on WhatsApp at the time. Like, it was pretty good.
There's a future spot on BBC Sports live text commentary for you in the future if you ever wanted it. This is the man for the job.
Yeah. The worst is when like I'm in the middle of doing it and I say, "Oh, this is where the current set is," and then I get distracted talking to someone, and then like poor Zoe's just like,
God.
"Nick,
Zoe's like begging.
Did they win the set? Did they win the set?"
Oh, so bad, so bad. Um, yeah, it. If you asked them before the game, would you have taken a draw? The Queens probably would have said yes, but talking to a few of them and um, I watched a bit of the game before we jumped on the pod, and yeah, we definitely had more opportunities than usual to have won the game outright early on. Um, but again, it shows you what I was talking about earlier on with the Honeys. They've been focusing on core skills more. They've been focusing on how they're playing out the games a bit more. And you've seen that come to light in that game against Storm. And hopefully we get to see more of that level of play as the season goes on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, definitely. Um, yeah, I mean that's all I have to say about that match. Just want to give a shout out to BD for once again moving fixtures around so that our match to catch was not in fact on the stream court.
There was no stream.
Was there not a stream for this one? Was this not working? Was it not working by this point? I
I'm
don't know.
pretty sure. I'm 99% sure because I would have watched the stream by now.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter either way because they rearranged the fixtures like a week or two in advance, based on who they think they want on the stream courts.
Yeah, the only game that was on stream was Spartans versus Silverbacks in the men's league. Everything else didn't make it.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah. So I didn't see the Derby versus Spartans game, and I didn't watch it back, unfortunately. But Zoe wins, as she usually does. Like bang on the prediction on a draw. Not only should she get that draw correct.
So many times, I have said that the Derby versus Spartans is going to be a goddamn draw, and the one time I don't fucking back it, whenever you make it match to catch, and it fucking happened. Fuming.
Yep. Derby, Bedford, Mighty Eagles as well, also ending in a draw. So both of them.
Do you take that as a Derby team? Like, do you take the unbeaten run continuing as a positive?
Well, surely not. It didn't work for them last year, so no. I'd be pissed in that scenario because last year they did really well at drawing too many matches, like matches that got away from them, and then
they drew with bad
bees.
Teams. Yeah, but that's what I mean, right? Like they drew with bad teams. It's not like they were picking off points against their title contenders, whereas at least now it's not just them that's suffering the draw, if that makes more sense.
Yeah, but I think that speaks more to them as a team not being able to finish off matches rather than them being better than the other teams, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
It gives the impression that Derby are good enough to beat Bedford Mighty Eagles and to beat Spartans.
Oh yeah, 100%.
But they just didn't. They weren't able to finish the match off, and Spartans and Beagles were therefore able to claw it back for the draw. But I think, if Derby are going to win the league, they need to be turning those games, specifically those two games, into wins. And the fact that we can almost reliably say it will be a draw is ridiculous.
But I remember last season that we were saying something similar whenever it was Derby v Spartans, and Derby beat the Spartans, but then they couldn't beat Bees. Like they're actually getting results against the teams that they didn't last season. And yeah, you can argue that they've taken a slight downfall, probably an exaggeration, against Spartans this time round, but it's not as detrimental taking a draw against Spartans as it was taking a draw against Bees last year.
No, definitely not. And I think if you're thinking title contention, I guess as a fan more than anything, if you're thinking about it more of like a fan of the team rather than like a coach. I think.
Don't you dare call me a fan of Derby.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying if you were to think about it that way, then I would say that it's better to get 1 point than get no points in that match. Of course it is. You're not giving Spartans 2 points. You're not giving Beagles 2 points to run away with it. Because if you got 2 losses there, you got no points. Well, at least now you've got the equivalent of a win. So that really kind of screws over Spartans and Beagles in terms of that progression. But from a coach's
Yeah.
perspective, like, surely you must be annoyed that last year your issues was not finishing off games and finishing off them with wins, or in that critical period where you need to just win 2 or 3 sets in a row to put the game to bed. You're not doing it. Is disappointing that that's carried over into this season.
Yeah, true. You're definitely not wrong. But like Spartans took a draw against Storm earlier on the season.
Yep.
That's a lot more detrimental
Oh
than
yeah, definitely.
you have to look at it at who you're taking it against. Like if Derby take a draw against Bees again, like your season's done. Because that's essentially what cost them last time. Is there was I think 2 results like that where they dropped points to lower
Yeah.
teams whenever they were beating the teams around them.
Yep.
Like
Was it Sheriffs that they
it,
drew
it
to as well? I don't know.
I think so. I can't fully remember. I'll
Yeah, I
be
can't remember.
perfectly honest, but you know, I
Could have
I,
been Rangers. I
I
don't.
guess
Yeah.
it's gonna I guess it's gonna be a hindsight thing, right? Or whether this comes to bite them in the back of the ass. But
Yeah.
I
Right
would
now you take it.
I would weirdly, even though they were beating these teams last time, I would weirdly be happier walking away from this meet with the draw against both of them because they're still top of the table. They're literally on the I think the exact same score difference as Spartans. Like what they need to be doing is racking up the points against the lower league or like the lower end of the table, like showing that aggressive side, which they definitely have it in them to do. That's where it could be because this could easily be if a game that shows set difference once again for the top couple of teams in this league will be massively important at the end of the
Yeah. Yeah.
season.
Yeah. No. Definitely. Definitely. Yeah. It is an interesting one for the top of the table. I mean, Spartans did their job against Rangers and Sheriffs. Both my Eagles doing the same against Sheriffs and White Tigers. Um, Interesting day for Wessex though, getting a big win over Storm 2, but not doing so well against White Tigers or Storm. It's just so weird how Wessex are doing and White Tigers are doing in this league. Like I didn't expect either of them to be doing this well against the teams that they're against because
Yeah, that
they
many
play
wins this
such
early on.
they both play such a different style of dodgeball. And we saw that in League One, and it was weird that of the 3 teams that were going for promotion last year, they were the 2 teams that got promoted were the only teams to lose matches to people outside the top 3.
Mm-hmm.
Like Leeds just straight up lost against the 2 teams that got promoted, but they beat everyone
Yeah.
else. Whereas the 2 teams
Yeah.
that ended up getting promoted lost to teams below them, which is just a weird, a weird situation to be in. But then, like, come Super League, they're
Going toe
they're in
to
the
toe
mud.
with
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, one of those teams is Storm, and Storm do Storm things, so can't really argue about that. Like, draw against Bees, like just beating Wessex and then just beating Rangers. Like, it's,
Yeah,
man, fascinating
like
team. Love Storm.
yeah. Those are the teams in and around them at the moment, Like the only
Yeah,
ones
yeah,
that are really struggling are Storm 2, Bees, and Sheriffs.
yeah,
Which is weird because you probably would have put Queens in there after the season they had last year. But you would have thought White Tigers and Wessex would have been more in that race or that relegation battle more than the others, in my head anyway.
yeah. I mean, because White Tigers are an amalgamation of themselves and Valkyries. It's hard to say. Like, yeah, they did get a boost, but you never know how that would meld. And it definitely took a while for them to work it out as a team because they, had a, kind of shut the bed in the first league meet. They didn't have a good league meet at all. So, considering some of the players they've got on that team, but Wessex are definitely punching. Like, they are doing so well for their promotion.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, sad times for Bees and Sheriffs. See how they carry on into the rest of the season. Let's go on into the table. Cool. So currently, for our audio listeners, at the top of the table on 16 points is Derby Phantoms. Is this up to date? Yeah, it is up to date.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the set difference is the same. So Derby
Yep.
Phantoms and Spartans are on the same points and the same set difference, which I think that means Derby go ahead on sets 4 because they have 139 while Spartans have 136. Just behind both of them on 15 points is Bedford Mighty Eagles with 7 wins, a draw, and a loss. On 133 sets for 74 set difference. And then it drops off in terms of the sets and some of the winnings there. So Storm are in 4th on 10 points with 4 wins, 2 draws, and 3 losses. Rangers in 5th on 9 points with 4 wins, 1 draw, and 4 losses. Leicester White Tigers 8 points, 4 wins, 5 losses. Wessex Wolves 3 wins, 1 draw, and 5 losses, 7 points. Then the relegation scrap, which is London Storm 2 wins and 7 losses, 4 points. Queen Bees 1 win, 1 draw, and 7 losses, 3 points. And Sheriffs on 1 win with 2 points. I was trying to get my words out there, and it was a struggle. That was a struggle.
Yeah, actually done pretty well. No, don't worry, pal.
Incredibly tight middle pack. I mean, as always in Women's Super League, it's you always end up with teams bunching together, but you've definitely got I would say, the top 3 is solidified.
100%. That's without a doubt. I don't see anybody catching up to them 3 this season.
No, and it's one of those weird ones where somehow I think Storm, Rangers, White Tigers, and Wessex would be happy with where they are.
Yeah. I reckon Storm at the start of the season probably would have thought they might have been a bit tighter with the top 3, but in terms of being 4th, they would have been happy with.
Yeah, they're a win away from being maybe where that would have been. If they turn one of those draws into a win, so if they'd beaten Bees instead of drawing to them, then they would be closer and it would look a bit more nicer for them. But realistically, they are still 4th.
Yeah.
I think Rangers as well, with some of their results, would be happy with 5th place on 9 points and only just behind Storm.
I think Rangers are having better results than their performances would say. I haven't no, bear in mind, I haven't watched all of their games, but in the games I have seen, I would say that they're playing dodgeball closer to a relegation battle than they would be playing to the top 3 or even the top 4 or 5. I could see them slipping up a fair whack before the end of the season and finding themselves in a bit of trouble.
I mean, a set difference says
shock
that.
Me.
They've got minus 34 set difference.
Yeah.
When if you look at those around them, even Wessex have a better set difference. Who are two positions lower than them. So, they're basically winning their matches by a set or 2, and then getting hammered in the ones that they're losing.
Yeah, I watched the Queens versus Rangers game, and I didn't see any real conviction from Rangers at any point during that game, really. Same with Queens, the Rangers won, fair enough. But after I finished watching it, I was sat there going, I didn't feel like I think it was a 3-set win. It very much easily could have been a draw or a win for Queens, and I probably would have said the same thing the other way around. And that's a team that's literally slap bang in the middle of a relegation battle.
Yep.
And I've seen a few Rangers games where I thought the exact same, where there was just no real confidence on court compared to other teams in and around them. I watch Wessex Wolves, and even though they're struggling, I still think that they have this confidence in themselves to take on anybody in that league, even a Derby, Spartans, Beagles. Like they go into their matches and you feel like they are giving them a game. They're making them work really hard for every set. I watch Rangers. I don't really have that same feeling whenever I watch them against any opposition. Really,
Yeah.
again, haven't watched every game, so I'll take whatever battering they give my way for saying it. But yeah, and I haven't seen enough of the White Tigers to kind of make similar comments. But yeah, that it wouldn't surprise me if they end up slipping down the table sooner rather than later.
Yeah, I mean, I still think White Tigers and Wessex will be happy with where they are as well, outside the relegation
Oh no,
battle
I,
at the
I, I
moment.
think absolutely,
It's
because I definitely would have put them in that relegation battle more than
yeah,
they are
definitely.
currently.
It's just, I think that's my main takeaway from this is there are, even though some results have been wild and weird and wacky, I think most teams would be pretty happy with where they are. Other than obviously the teams that are in the relegation fight. Even Storm 2, I think, would be happy with where they are. Having 2 wins and currently an 8th above both Bees and Sheriffs, I think they'll take that. And they'll be pretty happy with it because Storm 2 have been performing pretty well as well.
Yeah,
It's really rough for Bees and Sheriffs. It really is.
you say it's really rough. Like, we'd be worse Storm 2 is now if we had beaten Storm. Like the Queens are showing that they've got enough there to get out of that relegation zone. Like there is enough there. Like there's points to be had. They've had a couple of tight games. Like I said, like that Rangers game, that there was enough there to come out with at least a point. They could have beaten Storm. Could easily, like, they played Sheriffs on a bad day. Like there's points to be had there. So you're completely right in that they would be disappointed, but they also should walk away after the first 3 meets and go, there is definitely an opportunity to get out of this and finish strong.
Yeah, definitely. I think I'm thinking of it more from a club perspective rather than a team
No.
individuals.
You're absolutely
Which like,
spot on. You
and I
just have to
think
give a bit of context behind it.
yeah, and I think some of the context of that is that if you're looking at this table at the moment, it's almost a table in order of experience, like how much these teams have got experience together. Um, you know, I think that would be a fairly reasonable ordering of the hierarchy based on how much experience of this level or of competitive dodgeball the teams have. I think
Yeah, that's fair.
Some of the new players that Sheriffs have brought up into the first have shown that they're in that position where they're still learning, and there are only a few players that really have that
It's a
experience.
very difficult league to learn.
Yeah,
Very difficult league learning.
and they're sort of dragging them up, and then Bees have got 2 or 3 players that started last year as their debut in this league, and then a few more that have come through from the seconds into this year. So still a very young team. Like, lots of hope for them, definitely. Like, there's so much more potential for them, but also, it's rebuilding years, I guess. Let's go on into the fixtures for round 4.
Yes, sir.
Morning session for Women's Super League. Starting the day off with the Storm first, Storm seconds. We love to see that. Can Storm 2 provide the same upset they did last year and get a win over their first? Not impossible. The match to catch is also at 9:30. Bedford Mighty Eagles against Spartans. For some reason, I don't think that will end in a draw.
Well, we'll see the predictions later on, won't we?
Yeah, we will.
Yeah, there's actually a few good matches going on. In terms of the relegation battle, the most important one's got to be the Queens versus Sheriffs game. That is going to be majorly important.
Yep.
And with it being that late, like in terms of like they'll be the third match for both of them. It's going to show a lot of how depth in squads is going to play a major part in it, and the mental side of the game, because they've got two difficult games beforehand, especially Queens. This is a very, very big meet for Queens in terms of trying to stay out of the relegation battle. Wessex is definitely a team that you've no idea whether they're going to turn up and play, as I said, that really outstanding, confident dodgeball, or if it's going to wither away. You have to start off hot against them and put the pressure on. And fingers crossed for Queens that they're able to do that. And then you're going into a game against White Tigers, who, as you said, have a mix of, very experienced Valkyries from last season who had a hell of a campaign, versus some less experienced players, which is it's going to be a huge day for Queens.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's a big day for a lot of people. Like Sheriffs should be targeting that Rangers game as well. I think they could definitely get a point or two there. Don't think it's out of the realm of.
As I said, Rangers are a beatable team. Like I haven't seen a game where I'm thinking that they've played extremely outstanding dodgeball. The results might say differently, but they're if Sheriffs are able to kind of learn from the mistakes they've they've played in previous meets, and fingers crossed that they have a fully healthy squad, they definitely could be looking to take a point or two off of Rangers there.
Yeah, Storm have a very interesting day playing their seconds, but then also playing the top two. Oh, well, second and third.
It wouldn't shock me if they lost to the seconds and then beat both Derby and Beagles. Storm do storm things.
Storm do storm things. Yeah, they do. Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me at all. They're just such a weird. I wish I knew why they were so weird. I wish I knew why they were so weird. But they're a great team. They've got some even in their men's as well. Got some great players, great individual players, great international talent, players that can, absolutely turn a game on its head, and Grace single-handedly sorted their match out against Bees to make sure they got the draw with the 2 catches.
Shut your mouth.
I think Storm even got. Did they draw to? Who did they draw to early? I think they drew to Spartan or Derby or something like that in the last in one match, and Rachel got
Derby. It might have been Spartans.
Yeah, and Rachel got an insane catch, jumping catch to secure the draw as well.
Yeah, it was Spartans.
Just they've got the players to do it. They just then don't do it.
Consistently, they don't do it consistently.
They don't do it consistently. Sometimes they do it and it works. But yeah, man, what a team. I think they're more likely to be my favourite team than Wessex, just because of how erratic they are, and who knows what they're going to get. I know, crazy, isn't it? Crazy. And you know what? Here's another team that I like. It's the Storm Seconds team. Yeah, we love the Seconds team as well.
You're trying to get us in trouble.
I know. I swear, every time I mention a team, someone complains oh, you've just been a bit negative. I was commentating at NECs, and I was basically saying that Scotland were having a few issues with handling a running counter from Sweden, and Sweden were regularly being able to win sets from it, and that if Scotland sorted that out, they would have been all right. And it was just someone commentating commenting something along the lines of commentator doesn't like Scotland, do they? And I'm like, what?
If you don't call them the best in the world, then everybody's going to be pissed off,
Yeah. In which case, you all suck and Leeds is the best. Because that's how it works. Yeah, I mean, Storm 2s have got a pretty rough day against Bedford Eagles and Spartans as well. Woo!
Yeah. Especially after taking on Storm, you're just going into a few games where you just don't want to be there.
No.
To be fair, there's enough experience to Storm, because we seen them the first round of playing against Beagles, I think it was. They actually were going toe to toe with them for the majority of the game, and then it kind of like withered away for the last few sets. So like they're always a difficult team to beat.
Oh yeah,
So
they're such a vibey team as well. Like if the energy's high with
yeah,
them,
which
like if they beat their first, like who knows what's going to go into that Beagles. Like if they beat their first and Spartans beat Beagles, that could be a hell of a game. Like genuinely. Like
I'll be honest, definitely, and during that game, I will definitely be a Storm 1 fan. Controversial.
what
as
against the
it may be.
seconds?
Yeah, because I kind of want Queens to stay up, and anybody in around them, I'd like to kind of lose their match. You know what I mean? But remember,
Yeah,
no bias in this podcast.
Yeah, no,
Absolutely
definitely
no bias.
no bias at all. We say with a Bees player as the background image.
Listen, the medalist, silver medalist at NEC's Becky deserves her plaudits.
Yeah, no, she did do incredible. At
Poster
NECs.
girl at dodgeball now.
Of Manchester and Scotland. Yeah, no, it's a tough day for Storm 2s, I reckon. But then that middle pack, Wessex and Rangers playing each other, White Tigers playing each other. We're going to see some I think some clearer gaps appearing between certain teams based on some of these results.
Fair comment.
Cool. Predictions?
I predict that you're going to lose the predictions race at the end of the season.
That's not really prediction. That's fact.
You boy.
You boy. You can tell I wasn't a cool kid at school.
Neither of us were, pal.
That's why we do a podcast.
That's why we do a podcast about throwing balls.
Yeah. Bedford, Mighty Eagles, Leamington Spartans, second v third place. Let's check out what the votes
Check out what the public have to say.
129 votes, 61% to 39%. Who do you reckon it's for?
Spartans?
Yep.
Interesting. Very, very interesting. Oh, you can go first on this one, pal.
Fine.
Fine.
I don't have to explain myself.
Wow, bottled it.
For our audience
Bottled
listeners, it's Leamington Spartans I vote for.
It's because he's in love with Spartans. He really wants to work out what their profession is. They've never said. They've never answered the question. I should be quiet. My housemate's gonna kill me.
They're just grunt.
So dumb. Anyway,
It's hilarious because the Spartans team in Vienna do the same thing.
yeah, it doesn't shock me. But anyway, do I fancy a Spartan or do I fancy a Beagle? That's gonna be clipped up and taken out of context.
Zoe, get on it now.
Oh, I need to go to bed. Sure, fuck it. Let's go Beagles. Let's do it. Go on. I'm winning this. I was so tempted to go with a draw, I'll be honest, but
Yeah.
it never works for me whenever I do it. Zoe knows ball. Facts of life.
Yeah, she does. It's a really difficult one to see how this one's going to go. Again, it depends on lineups for a start. But yeah, I don't know. Play styles are kind of similar, I think. I don't think there's much to distinguish between them on that one.
There's a good like balance of experience on both sides as well. Like there's a lot of like top players in both sides.
Yeah.
The big thing is just going to be whether Beagles are as good at um, holding out onto the leads as they have been previously. They tend to win the sets. They're almost like prefer coming from behind in some sets, like from what I've seen previously. Like they love taking those big catches to turn the momentum around in a set. It's really fun to watch, actually. To be fair,
I mean, Alice is fucking
um,
incredible at it. So
oh, unbelievable. But like as I said, like there's a lot of good experience on that Beagle side, and they definitely have it in them to go toe to toe with anybody in this league. And I backed them to have a good day. Why not?
yeah, fair enough. I think it will come down to, I think Beagles are more cautious but opportunistic. Like they will get you on the toes, and if they see an opportunity there, they will throw that single ball that will seem out of the blue, but they'll usually end up with a hit. It's a very calculated risk, and they end up.
Yeah, and they're just very good at disrupting
Yeah.
you.
Whereas I think Spartans will be a lot more aggressive, like trying to be up in the face and get the running counters off, but I don't know if they will necessarily translate to the hits that they're looking for, or not giving away the catches at certain points. It's hard to say. It's going to be a good match.
It'd be a very good game to watch.
If BDs can get the stream working, then yeah, definitely tune into it. If not,
Or at
just
least
turn up and
at
watch.
least record it. Just record it at the very least. If you're not going to do live stream, you've got the capabilities of just recording it. It's not that hard.
Yeah, you just stick your
I'm
phone
sorry.
on the
I
tripod.
will have a go. I will have a go at the live stream. Like, look at Deutsche Central. If they're able to, if their live stream's not able to happen, they can still record everything. Do the fucking same. Not that difficult to do. Right, rant over.
Oh, sure.
Hi, welcome back to Catching Out.
That's the whole point of Catching Out. We just rant about things, right? Like, what annoys you today about
dodgeball related
dodgeball?
or not at this point.
Yeah. All right, that wraps it up. Thank you for listening or watching, going through all that pain and listening to us waffle at this late hour. Hope you enjoy it. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Go give us a follow on Instagram. Colm is driving for some sponsorships if we can get enough followers. So
get us to 1K followers, please.
Please do, just for his sake.
Please.
He'll be very happy, and we need to
share it. Share it within your club. Share it with everybody. Like, get your parents to start following it if they have Instagram. Do it. Create like accounts for your pets. Get that to follow too. That'd be great.
Or just have like a private
more dog
account.
photos on Instagram is not a bad thing.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. give a like, subscribe, and follow if you listen to us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Leave us a nice review and 5-star rating if you can. It really helps with the promotion of the pod on those platforms. I know we're getting some better numbers on those things now, especially as everyone's listening to it on the way to St George's Park. So we hope you enjoy it, and we hope you enjoy the other podcasts. But keep an eye out for anything else coming out from Catching Out. Come say hi to us on Saturdays or at league meets.
I'm not as scary in person as I am in the pod, I swear.
Yeah, I know, he's just mean to me, that's all. And apologies to the regional leagues, South League 2, South League 3, North League 2, North League 3. Really appreciate all the work that people have been doing, sending us in information. It's been really interesting to read, and we would love to talk about it. Just we don't have time, literally.
What we will hopefully potentially do is end of year review episode for the regional leagues with like collating a lot of the stuff that we gather. Yeah, but definitely. Finding the time to do all of the stuff for this is scarce at the moment.
yes, it is indeed. It's wild. Who would have thought that the season that had Euros and 2 regional European competitions in the same, sporting year would affect how busy we are? Wild, isn't it?
And the fact that we're planning non-podcast related stuff.
Ooh. And also,
spoilers.
If you haven't booked your ticket to go to Worlds, what are you doing? Get on it.
All right, have a go at me then. Okay, thanks.
I mean, no, you booked your ticket. You just need to sort out whether you're actually coming or not.
True.
So, yeah, if you can get your flights sorted or your long trains from Switzerland sorted, then we'd love to see you there. It'd be great to have more people out there. Airbnbs are relatively cheap in Graz. Spoiler alert. So if you want to get like a large group together, that might be the way to do it rather than finding a hotel. So, yeah, let's get out there and go watch some good dodgeball for a week. It'll be good fun.
Whoop.
Until next time. Bye.
Bye.